Hi. Okay. Here's another. You gotta ask a question. You have to ask the question. I'm sorry. Okay. So we're getting close to Pesach. This is Shabbos Hagadol, and there's a lot of things to talk about. But one thing that I would like to bring up before we get into various drushes and is the idea that we see from the way the Haggadah is written that it's used for educational purposes, right? That many things that we're going to go out and hear, that this was done to entice the exchange. The word Haggadah really comes comes from the word God, comes from the word to tie, meaning you're going to tie the teller and the participant to the story, meaning you're trying to bring them in to get a response, not only information, but to also get them to be part of what is going on and being part of this is our story. Right? That we have to try to feel like we have the same experiences, etc. Anyway, so it comes into something that a lot of people talk about, the placement and what does this have to do with anything, is that the Torah mentions, they bring in about there's 4 sons. The Torah talks about 4 sons, 4 personality types. So you have the Chacham, the Rasha, the Tam, and the one who doesn't know how to ask, right? So the question people ask is, one is, what do you need the Chacham for? He knows the information, right? What's the purpose of mentioning him as somebody that you have to tell the story to? And why is there an obligation, as we mentioned earlier, that even if you know, even if you're wise, you have to say over this story? What's it about the story? What is it about this night and this event that means that everybody, even if you're knowledgeable, you have to be part of it? The second thing is that if you notice, the way we answer the Russia and the one that we say to the Lishal, the one who doesn't know how to ask, we use the same verse in order to tell over the story. Hashem, right? What Hashem did for me when He took me out of Egypt. Question is that these seem to be two very different personality types. The Russia is somebody who's antagonizing. He's anti what you're doing. He stands up. And the other one is just totally apathetic. So why using the verse that we use to attack the Russia as the same verse that we use to deal with the person who's apathetic? It could be like this. Many times we make a similar mistake in life, and what the Bal Haggadah, I believe, is trying to tell us is that what you're like we were mentioning, everybody needs to be co-opted into the story, the experience of Yetziat Mitzrayim. So if somebody's a wise person and somebody who gathers a lot of knowledge, tend to be a detail-oriented person. What excites them, what gets their personality going, is the nuances, the nuances, the subtleties of things, and therefore that's our response to him. Is that he also too has to feel connected. It can't be just an intellectual pursuit. He has to feel a part of it, and what will get him to feel a part of it is telling him all the little details, even to the point of that we're not allowed to eat after the Afikomen. These are the things that excite him. These are the things that make him feel a part of things, understanding, knowing the details. That's what excites him. On the other end of the spectrum, somebody's apathetic. They don't care. You do what you do, I do what I do, and many times they just aren't doing anything. So the Bal Haggadah is trying to tell you, how do you deal with somebody who is apathetic? How do we deal with somebody who is like just down and maybe in a depression, doesn't care about anything? Is that you don't tell them what they should be doing, how they could be better, how good they are, how wonderful they are, and about that, because they're depressed. They don't care. They're not interested in that. It's not going to elicit any kind of response from them. What the Bal Haggadah says is that you start a different approach. It's the same Pesach. When we said to the Russia, Ba'avor Zeh, because of this, Hashem did for me, and He did me and not you, because you would have been antagonized, you would have been excluded. We don't go into that part of that, the exclusion part. We're saying, listen, I don't know what you believe, I don't know what you care. When we're talking about the Eini Yodea Lishol, we say, this is, you know what, I'm very excited, because God did this for me, and He did this for me, and He did this for me, and He did that, and I have a relationship, and I'm so happy, and I'm so excited, and I feel so grateful, and all that. It's not about the Eini Lishol. If you try to press them, they're just going to ignore you. It's going to flow off of them. but they deep down inside want to be excited about something. They don't want to live a life of apathy. Nobody does. But if you could show them that there's something that's worthwhile getting excited about because you're excited about something because of your relationship to it, that can exist, that's going to be the spark that's going to get it. At Pesach lo. That's the way he uses the word. You should open up for him. Pesach is the word of opening. You should open for him. You should show him the possibility that somebody can be excited about something. Not that he has to be excited, because if you focus on him, he's just going to resent you and resist it and go away. Balagada is teaching us a valuable lesson, not only for that night, but at any time when we deal with people who tend to be out of it, apathetic, not caring, this and that. It's not about what they need. It's about showing them what could be, because what's happening to you. If you have somebody, for example, sometimes people who have a tragedy and they don't want to get out, they don't leave, they're stuck. Instead of saying, you need to go out, you need to take a shower, you need to do this, they're not interested. They just don't feel like it. But if you turn to them and you say, I need your help. You're very good at this. Can you come with me to the mall because I need your help with your shopping because you have such great taste. I need your help making a decision on this. Come with me to do this, because people will be helpful. Even if they're depressed, they're helpful. People basically are good. Even though they don't feel like it. But if you really, really need them and you sincerely want them, they'll come along. So here's the first lesson I got, is that our job in the telling over is to try to bring everybody into connection of the Yitzchak experience. And that's why the focus, they have this mentioning of the four sons, to us understand who we're dealing with. You should have a wonderful Shabbos and a Chag Kosher Pesach.